What is up, and I welcome each and every one of you back to a brand new Humankind tips and tricks video. Today we're going to be talking about 7 unknown, super secret, inner circle tips that you have no idea about in Humankind. Now that might be a little clickbaity because you probably know about 1 or 2 of these, but I'm certain you don't know about all of them, and all these tips can absolutely help you make or break your game, depending on what you want to do, obviously. Yeah, tips, obviously, I don't know what else to say. Let's get started. Before we do, as always, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I'm actually going to be playing this in real time instead of me having gameplay that has nothing to do with the game. I think I remember one time I did like a Humankind thing with like Civ 6 in the background. That wasn't a good idea. But this is going to be in real time so I can actually show you guys the tips. And let's actually start with tip number 1, Goody Huts. Go auto explore for them. So you can see I have auto explore on with this guy, right? Hit on auto explore. Now I actually started over here and I put auto explore on for him to go up north, and then he came back down to get 2 science stars. Now the way this works is that the AI in Humankind, his pants are absolutely on fire. It knows exactly where the science era stars are, so it will go to them. That's probably why you can see the Harappans being picked so early on, and the Mycenaeans, of course. But if you want to get an early culture, you put your guys on auto explore, they'll automatically go to the closest knowledge star. So let's hit end turn again. Watch what's going to happen. You're going to move. There we go. He's automatically, look at that. He knows where it is. Their pants aren't just on fire. They're absolutely ablaze. You think they're a Pokemon or some shit. Look at that. Oh my God. They know exactly where everything is. And he's going back. I guarantee you there's going to be a Science Era star up there somewhere. We got a World of Flame, a new refugee party. We're going to get that. And guess what? This guy's going to go auto explore as well. Oh my God. Look at that food. We finally get something to eat. We'll hit end turn right now. The game's gonna lag. Oh, look at that, another food place. Oh my goodness. Can you fight this guy, actually? I would... Okay, these guys are kind of spazzing out right now. I'm hoping I didn't give any of these guys any... Culture was already chosen. Holy crap. But, I mean, we get more food over there. That's pretty nice. You just keep these guys on auto-explore, and they are going to be getting all those little goody huts. They know where they... Look at that. Look at that. It's turn 8 and I almost already have the Science Era star right now. This is insane. We'll get the welcome one, the refugee party, and then I guess this guy can also go on auto explore as well. And I'm actually going to separate you guys, and then you can go on auto explore as well. These guys know exactly where to go. There really is no point in you controlling any of your units. We're already in the next era. We already got the Science Era star that we need. Now this guy, all right, I don't know if I want to fight this. You're actually okay, you know what? Manual battle. Screw it. Screw it. I like the Humankind combat system. We'll just have fun with it. Do I win this? I get absolutely clobbered. Stay fortified. So, oh, yes, okay. Give it to him. Give it to him. Okay. And then you're just going to fortify again and not die. Perfect. Hey, there we go. But we already have the next era. And if I go to one of these guys, hold up, which one is it? One of these guys should have the Science Era star thingy. It should have the question mark at the bottom. Apparently not, but we're going to go to the next era right now. As you can see, Mycenaeans, Nubians were taken. Harappans are still up. That is insane. Auto-explore for all these goodies. It works even after the Neolithic era. It's absolutely insane. Turn 11, we already have Science Era stars, and we are good to go. That is obviously the first tip. And now the second tip we have is place outposts and then relocate them with influence. I don't see a lot of people really doing this strategy. I'm actually going to put this guy off auto explore. So the way you want to do this is if you find something like iron or you find something like horses early on and you really want to secure that before anybody else does, because if somebody else, like look at this guy, there's already someone who's secured this down there. Guarantee you we're going to meet somebody over here. Growth Era star, that's fine, but someone's already secured this territory. The AI secures really early on, especially the higher difficulties. So what you want to do is obviously, let's say there's copper and horses over here, and you want to secure this immediately, right? You don't want to go ahead and go to the 1811. You could just go ahead and settle that one, and afterwards, after a while, it's going to take 10 turns to create. I probably should have done another one, but I'll come back once the outpost is created and finish the tip. And as you can hear from Knockoff Sean Bean, we have built our first outpost. This one was going to take 2 turns, so I decided to do it. But what you can do here is you can actually relocate the outpost. And if we could see right over here, oh, these all suck, don't they? Wait, it's not 2-2. Oh, this is the exact... So let's say you want to locate your outpost over there, for example. You do that, it immediately relocates, and you could do it as many number of times with influence as possible. So the reason you'd want to do this is if you find somewhere with horses or something, but you don't want to sort of like pigeonhole yourself and you want to find the best possible region. So let's say over here, right, you want to move your outpost here to a more defensive position, like in between these mountains or on these cliffs over there. It can't be done because it's not part of this territory, but you could go ahead and put it over there, and would you look at that? And it tells you exactly how much yields you are going to be getting. So it's going to give you extra food and production, extra food and production, extra food and production. You go ahead, you put them anywhere over there, and you could put your outpost like I did in a super defensible position after you explore that territory. This mechanic really is used for if you want to secure the horses, for example, immediately, and then relocate into a better province tile without having the risk of somebody else securing the outpost before you do. It's a really unique district mechanic, honestly, and it doesn't take any time to relocate the outpost. It just takes like a little bit of influence, and as you can see, I've done it like 5 different times. It doesn't scale. It's always going to stay at 12 depending on what area you're on. And yeah, I find that pretty cool. That's about tip number 2. Relocate outposts to secure and then get a best position possible for yourself. And after skipping ahead a little bit, we're back with our third unknown tip. What specialist slot are you going to be using? Now, early game, in my opinion, the best way I found is to focus on industry first. I completely forgot how to move this guy around. There we go. Industry first, followed by money, followed by food, followed by science. Now, the reason you don't want to go food early on, like for example, if you're a Civ player, you'd know, I want to grow. Why the hell am I not making food? Because each population, each farmer, for example, provides 6 food, but each population consumes 8 food. So you shouldn't be using specialists in order for yourself to build food, because that's just going to be a net negative loss. Like, you might grow a little bit faster, but considering each one is going to be consuming more food than he is going to produce, it really isn't worth it. Most of the food you're going to be getting is going to be from stuff like this farmer's quarter over here, from your granaries, from your natural wonders. But you can see right over here, one person provides 6 food but eats 8 food. You're going to be at a net negative loss. It is much easier to provide 6 production, considering the fact that people don't actually lose production. And the same can be said for gold. You know, you could use gold to spend by the pyramids. The only reason I'm not going to say science is because this is where food becomes, I think it's a little better than science, because early on science really isn't the biggest problem. You could obviously, if you're playing somebody like the I don't know, like the Egyptians, like I am for example, and you want to get your unique unit as fast as possible, you could go ahead and put your guy towards science, and therefore the Egyptian unique unit 20 turns instead of 60 turns. But in my opinion, the best way to do it is production, gold, food, science. And again, food isn't that cost efficient because you're producing 6, eating 8, because this guy's fat ass is literally eating more food than he's producing. We cannot have that. So you might as well put him on production and get most of your food from farmers' quarters, artisan quarters, and then all these infrastructure buildings. But yeah, that's tip number 3. Moving on to tip number 4. As we let everything auto-explore, I'm going to explain tip number 4 because it really isn't anything I can show on the map. I'm not going to do any of that. Tip number 4 is essentially all the ways that a game will end. There are 7 total ways to end a game, to completely end a game. Obviously, the winner is whoever has the most fame over here on this left-hand side, but you can end a game earlier or later depending on how you choose to end it. So here are all 7 ways to end the game. Just let me do whatever I want. Cool. The first way to end a game is to last until the score victory, essentially, to the end of time. Turn 300 is about when a normal paced game would end, and you could literally just wait until the end of the game and then count up your fame after that. The second way to end a game is getting every star in the contemporary era. So if you get to the contemporary era and you get every single star, the game will end after that. The third way to end a game is to complete the entirety of the tech tree. The tech tree is this thing over here. I'm going to assume you haven't played Civ. These are all the eras. Once you get to the end of the contemporary entry and you research every single technology, the game will automatically end. Fourth is to eliminate everybody. By the Renaissance or modern or early modern era, you'll be able to completely eliminate cultures. Once you've eliminated everybody, you can then end the game automatically. And the other way is to also vassalize everybody. If you get everyone as your vassal, the game will automatically end after that. And then finally, the second to last one is going to be the mission to Mars. If you complete the mission to Mars, the game will end. And finally, making the world unfit for life. You could do this in a number of ways. Either make pollution too high, or go ahead and make too many nukes or something like that. Once the world is unfit for human life, the game will, again, automatically end. Now, just because you make the game end automatically doesn't mean you win. If you go ahead and finish every tech on the tech tree, that's great. Gold star. But guess what? If the Harappans get like a 1,000 more fame than you, they're going to be the victors of that game. So you can end a game with any of these 7 ways, but you can't win the game by finishing any of these 7 ways before everybody else. At the end of the day, fame is still the deciding factor. And now let's talk about a nice and hidden mechanic, the influence screen. When you click on that, you will see the influence tab, and you will obviously see people converting to other cultures. Now, depending on the number of influence each of your territories generate, you can either push out your culture or the enemy will push their culture into yours. So for example, right now, the Nubians have a massive amount of cultural influence over me, and essentially my entire empire has been converted to the Nubian culture, if you will. Now, if we go to the Nubians right now and, for example, declare a surprise war, you will see that I'm losing support from proximity state as attacker. So what that ends up being, I think, it's either this one or another one that hasn't happened yet for some reason. The Nubians Nubians have, like, influence over me, and because of that, they are, it says converting to Egyptians in 2 turns. But essentially what this is if you do that, you are going to be getting a war support negative modifier, which does suck a lot if you're converted to somebody. But the other news is, if you convert your culture to somebody else, like if I'm like super cultural over the Nubians, they will also end up losing arrow score from proximity to attacker. I think that is. So right now they're not losing any war support because they're on the defensive. But if I had them converted to my influence, they would be losing war support every turn like I am, for example. So it is definitely a cool tab to have. There are also a good number of things. We might as well move on to the other tip as well, because it's kind of the same. If influenced, you can patronage free cities for cheap. So we all know the free cities that end up spawning on the map on unclaimed tiles. You can patronage them after getting the patronage technology later on in the tech tree. If you have them converted to your culture, they are actually super cheap to patronage and convert to your empire, and therefore you'd be able to get another city and expand your borders that way. So yeah, influence is very important, and getting the society and influencing other territories is definitely a big part of the game. You really want to do that by combining influence, I guess, is probably the best way to do this. Actually, because it's kind of annoying me right now, let's attach this to Memphis. Why not? Let's do that. Perfect. Cool. Awesome. And look at that. Look at the food. We're still losing food despite the fact we have 2 people. It really isn't worth it. You got to get farmers' quarters in order to make positive food. And we are back for the ultimate final super secret, super OP tip. This one really isn't a secret anymore. I was going to make this video a week ago when I found out about it. But this tip right now is the most broken, insane, disgustingly overpowered culture. I mean, my God, it is absolutely atrociously bad how unbalanced this culture is. I've loaded up a game just to show you guys, and that is the Khmer. The Khmer in this game are a medieval era culture that really isn't prioritized by the AI, but these abilities, you know, their unique elephant unit, it's fine, it can move and attack, but it's really expensive and requires resources. Come on, let me change. Where's the Khmer again? There they are. Their ability, 3 industry on Maker's Quarters, is fine, I guess, but the beret is absolutely insane. You get production per population, 5 food, 2 production for every adjacent river, and another slot on the outpost. Now, you guys might be thinking, okay, it seems strong, but how strong could it possibly be? Let me show you, all right? Let me show you. You know what? We're just gonna, can we shift enter? Can we shift enter? We can't shift enter in this game. Oh my God, it's not even as good as Civ then, is it? Okay, let me just go ahead and finish this stuff real quick. Yeah, this game, the Khmer, you're gonna see, it's absolutely the most disgusting Civ in the entire game. Let's go ahead, there's the era, good. Now, look at how much the beret, this is the beret, right? Look at how much it provides. 9 food and 40 production, are you kidding me? Look at this, two turns, right? 8 food and 30 production for 1 district. What is this? Oh my God. 12 and 28, 9 and 29. It is absolutely insane. It gives you so much food and production per district. And the good thing is, if you surround it with like an industry, it's going to give you 20 production now. Oh my goodness. That is absolutely insane. The Khmer's district is so... Look at that. Look at how much production I'm getting. I was making 170 industry in my capital of Memphis. I was making 140 before the first beret. But every beret I build, look at that. If I just buy these 2, boom, boom, 230 industry. I was making 143 turns ago. Absolutely insane. The Kamai give you so much production that you're going to be able to literally build everything, especially if you have something like the city of Memphis. And eventually when you're able to actually start absorbing cities, think about it. My city of Memphis will have over 1,000 production before we even leave the era. It is absolutely insane. Look at that. This one isn't even that bad. 12 food, 17 production, and it is still absolutely amazing. Ignore the communist symbol. That's something I did for my first playthrough. But the Kamai are so overpowered and broken, you cannot lose if you get to the medieval age. You get to the medieval age and build the berets as the Kamai, it is literally impossible for you to lose. It is absolutely insane, and Kamai are the most broken culture in the entire game. Huge shout out to my members, Cash Christian, Ben Ownby, John Blair, Jackson Perez, Polaris Gaming, Emporium, Adam Mester, Jeff Utzler, Kim Cosmos. A really special shout out to my oh my god subscribers, Robert and Overflow of Amenities.